Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing a fantasy book for you guys. This book is called The Order. It came out around 2018, and it was published by R.C. Butler. Just full disclosure, I did find this book through Fiverr. I was asked to do some beta reading, give some constructive comments on it, but I enjoyed this book so thoroughly that I recommended it to all of my friends. All of them that are into anything that looks remotely like Lord of the Rings. Because this book is in the same genre, and it's in the same genre, it's in the same subgenre, is what I should say. Because, with fantasy, there's modern day elves, there's way back in olden days with little bits of magic here and there. There's high fantasy with lots of magic. And then there's like Old West kind of thing. And then there's a creeper in the woods type thing. Well, this book, like I said, is a little more on the Lord of the Rings side. You have dwarves, you have orcs. No, you don't have orcs. Sorry. There are dwarves, there are elves, there are humans, and then there are what Butler calls the Magi. They are your standard wizards. And these wizards come in three basic groups. There's the dark, the red, and there used to be the light. The dark are all your big bad, we destroy stuff, we take energy from the environment, and using that energy, we cast a spell, and that's the power behind the magic. The best I could tell, it's never fully explained, or if it is, it's not done a whole lot, but the red faction, the red group, they're more neutral. It's a little bit of themselves, and it's a little bit of energy coming from elsewhere, but they are very, very, very certain to make sure that they don't drain all the energy out of the environment. They are good stewards of what they're given. And then there's this old faction that with what is called the War of the Robes. That faction is the white, and they only bring their energy from inside themselves, and on occasion, they will reach out to the environment and say, hey, can we please use some of your energy to cast this spell? And each three group was valid in its form of magic using. But the black faction and the white faction, they just didn't get along. And the black faction hated the whites, and they wanted to outright destroy them. And so they did. Until, and this is a spoiler for like the first 3 chapters of the book, but it's the underpinning of the book. So minor spoiler here. There is a character. He is the first character you see. His name is Ares. Ayres. My apologies to the author, Mr. Butler, if you ever see this. Sorry, that's how I'm pronouncing the character. Feel free to let me know if I get it wrong. Ares, he grows up in this little town, and he decides he wants to learn magic. So he goes off to the Black Faction's tower. He goes through the training process. He gets before the council, and the council does their little ritual and says, hey, you're one of us now. You are a wizard. But could you please let us know, what wizard are you? Have you chosen a black like us? Or have you chosen a red? Well, Ares, he whips off his ceremonial garb, and there's not a black robe under there. There's not a red robe. Surprise! There is a white robe. He decides he wants to bring back the white faction. And it doesn't go over well. And the rest of the book, the Black faction, they pretty much spend their entire time trying to kill him because his mere existence threatens not only the peace they've worked so hard to make, but it also threatens this little thing that this group called the Votary of Nebulous is trying to do. So when he whips off his robe, the head of the council, Soltrair, he tries to create a spell that sucks all of the energy and all of the life out of Ares. It fails for reasons that are spoilery, and Ares ends up escaping, going back home, and meeting up with his 4 friends. It's supposed to be 4, but someone ends up not showing up, but they're okay. We run into them later. And he decides, okay, I need to go and I need to get to a safe place. I need to go to the Red Tower. Along the way, they bump into somebody called Elaine. And that pretty much comprises the core group. Elaine, Duran, Bellahan, and Ares spend the whole time in the book going off to reinstill the White faction, and some very interesting things happen along the way. This book caught my attention when I was reading it because of how realistic the relationships are. Everybody in the core group of 4 have a really good relationship with each other. Like, they'll tell jokes, they'll rag on each other, they'll defend each other, they'll support each other, but they can be 100% real. On a certain page in the book, I'm not going to tell you when, one of the 4, and I'll say it's one of the men, kills their first sentient being. They kill something that has an intelligence, has a brain, has a family, has life. Previously, they'd only killed a boar to eat, or maybe they accidentally killed a bird or something like that. But this was the first sentient thing that they killed. And in this scene, this character goes off on their own, and they think they're alone. They start crying about it, which is very normal. I mean, it's your first kill. Like, dude, that's awful. Another character, another male comes along and says, hey, I remember my first one too. Yeah, it sucks. And we all have to cry about it. We all get over it. I'm here to support you. The way it was written, it seems like Butler wasn't politicizing it. He wasn't like making it a big thing. It was just, hey, this is a fact of life. This happened. Let's keep moving. And it being as sensitive but as serious as he needed to be. And I so appreciated that. I so appreciated that in this book. The other thing I enjoyed about this book is when I read certain books, a pitfall I often see is that a book doesn't know either when to end or it doesn't know how to keep going. Like, it ends too soon. Butler did not fall prey to this. He didn't fall prey to the ending too soon. He didn't fall prey to the ending too late. It was perfect timing. And when I read about the author bio at the end of the book, it says that this is his first book. And I was like, whoa, first time. And he got this right. That's amazing. Now, it wasn't his first piece of fiction. Apparently, he's written lots of poems, lots of short stories, but this was his first novel. And that had me impressed. Completely impressed. The pacing was perfect all the way through, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I would recommend this book to anybody who is into, like, fantasy with spells and wizards, and is about the age of 15 to 18. Now, of course, adults can always enjoy this book. I'm I enjoyed this book and I'm an adult, but that seems to be the age range that I would recommend. On a scale of family friendliness, I put this about at a 5 magical stabs out of 5. There is no sexual assault, there are no relationships of any kind, like romantic relationships of any kind in this book. So it's completely family friendly. The word rape is used twice, but it's not in the sexual sense. It's this awful thing is draining energy from the environment and it's destroying our world. It's more like ravage. That's the context it's used in, so I couldn't find anything that would trigger anybody in this book. Unless you have nightmares about elves and dwarves, then maybe don't read the book. But that was it. I would heartily recommend this book to anybody. But it seems to be explicitly best for people between the ages of 15 and 18. So be sure to check down in the description for a link on where to find the book and how to buy it, because you should read this book. Next time you guys see me, I'll be reviewing a book called The Incrementalists, and I am thoroughly enjoying it right now. I've been a little busy with this book that I just got done reviewing, but this book I picked up from the library and I read it purely because I wanted to. I look forward to telling you guys all about it in the next video. Bye!